Now it's a podcast.
Bobbity boopy.
Time to get spoopy.
Just roll the intro, dude. Hello. I'm Zach.
I'm Nick.
And I'm sorry we look like this.
Yeah.
And I'm not talking about the camera quality. So, welcome to our podcast, Airbuds.
Oh yeah, dear buds.
So, this is kind of a different podcast for us. It's almost documentary-esque is a good way to put it.
Yeah,
There's like interviews and stuff. It's kind of professional.
maybe. Yeah, it is.
It's weird. So we had to do this
Yeah.
to make it, not professional. So we're just giving you guys a quick rundown of what you're about to see. You're going to hear a lot of EVPs. You're going to see a few videos that are very high quality compared to this.
Mhm.
And in general, you're gonna see a lot. Let's just make this easy.
Yeah.
You're gonna see
Yeah,
some spooky stuff. You're gonna see some not so spooky stuff. The EVPs are really cool. You're gonna hear some really cool things on those. We went through. We added subtitles where things talk. And so that's it. We're excited. We're ready to show you guys. So without further ado, this is Haunted Savannah.
I've worked here a while. In this position, I've worked here since 2017.
Okay, and then
But I have worked with the museum education board since the early 2000s.
wow. So what's your exact position here?
Education and programs manager.
Okay.
The house was built 1848. Architect John Norris, New York architect. This is the first residential home he built here in the city. He built it for Andrew Lowe, wealthy importer-exporter from Scotland.
Okay. When we had talked earlier, you mentioned that you said this is built on top of a prison, correct?
Yes, this house is built on the site of the second jail built here in the Savannah on Lafayette Square. And when Andrew Lowe bought it, the jail is still standing, and he had his construction crew dismantle it.
So just to get into the spoopiness,
Spooky
the
things.
spooky things. Do you believe in the supernatural?
I do.
You do.
Yes.
Okay. What kind of experiences do you think, or at least you've had here?
Well, we have over the years, we've had shadows on the stairs. We've heard noises upstairs when we're downstairs. We've had unusual things happen with the alarm system, where we go to lock the door at night and turn on the alarm system, and it says activity or movement detected in the library. So we have to go upstairs and check out the library, and nothing's there. But the alarm system still won't allow us to turn it on. So then we call the alarm company, and they just come, and they can't explain it either. They replace the batteries, and we go on. But that has happened a few times. Unusual things like that. And then people they say Andrew Lowe in the Liza Stiles room in the rocking chair, but we really believe that's William Henry because he passed away in the room. So little things like that, people ask me, is the house haunted? I kind of like smile and nod. But
And then you have people like us ask you ridiculous questions about it, you know?
Yeah.
and then shelter in place happened. So
Oh.
pandemic, shelter in place. I've never experienced anything like that here in Savannah, except for maybe a hurricane when we're evacuating for a hurricane.
Yeah.
And the whole city's quiet, the museum's quiet. But shelter in place was a little longer, about a month for us here in Savannah. And we heard some very unusual noises within the house when there was no noises on the streets outside, very quiet outside. And within the house, we had essential workers. I was in education. We had our finance lady, and we had our director. And we heard very unusual noises being downstairs working in our offices, to where we'd go upstairs and check And it was almost a few times we wanted to call the police just to go through the house.
Oh wow.
Because we heard a lot of loud knocking, doors opening, shutting, footsteps, but very loud. One time, me and the lady who's our bookkeeper, we actually chased the noises through the house, and when we were on the top floor, we could hear the noises on the ground floor, and vice versa. And that afternoon, we left very quickly.
Oh, yeah, I can imagine.
And I actually, the next day, was very nervous about coming back into work. That was the first week of April. So.
Wow.
Yeah, the only thing, and I'm historical, so I'm going back to see if it's the anniversary of a death or any event that happened in the house or in the life of our historical characters throughout the home. And the only thing I could find was Robert E. Lee did come and visit the home that week of April 1st. And that was the last time he stayed in the house. He passed away 6 months later. But I don't know if they were getting ready for him coming in or his visit. But it was very busy that whole week.
So like over the span of a week, it just started like little activity and then
Well,
tapered progressively.
that
got
was
more.
an interesting. There's a lot of energy in the house because we were actually going through this pandemic, and this just happened, and we're nervous about all. We didn't know how it was going to pan out for us, and they were working on a loan for the museum, so they're having a meeting in our bookkeeper's office. I was in my office, and I kept hearing a weird knocking, and I kept thinking it was them fidgeting through the meeting because everybody was so nervous.
Right.
But then after one person left, and there's only one person in the office, the bookkeeper's looking at me going, "Chris, what are you doing? What's that noise?" And I'm looking at her going, "I thought it was you." And that's when we actually go through the house. Like it just got louder and louder to where we had to figure out what it was. And we figured it was coming from between our offices is the servant staircase.
Yeah.
And it was coming from the servant staircase, but on the second level. So that's why we go upstairs.
Wow.
And we have cameras throughout the house. We have very good cameras throughout the house. And we actually looked on the cameras as well. We could tell nobody's upstairs.
Right. Y'all ever caught anything on the cameras or?
No, but you really have to go through.
I'm sure it's a lot to go through.
Sit there and really go through. So nothing really, but we've never gone through it either. We've never had the patience to just sit there and go through it.
That's fair.
That's fair.
That's
Yeah.
very
Yeah.
fair. Yeah, I'm sure
And
it's a lot.
Also, I will say during that same time, a few times the director came into work and was in her office. Then she heard noises thinking I was in my office. She even said she heard like a woman's voice laughing, thought I was on the phone, comes in to talk to me, and my office is completely dark. And I almost it's not an agreement, but I feel like they stay upstairs and they don't come downstairs when I'm downstairs.
It's mutual respect.
Yes. Like I hear the noises upstairs, I don't go upstairs, and they won't come
Oh,
downstars.
that's cool. That was
I'm
actually
hoping.
one of my questions.
That answered Nick's next question.
Yeah. I was asking if there's any confrontations or stuff, but if you said this, that answered my question.
Yeah.
That's cool. That's a really cool respect thing.
Yeah.
And I really do think in this house it's nothing malicious, nothing. It's just like almost echoes of the past.
Right.
I mean, our house, it's almost the same as they left it, so it's very easy for these spirits to come right back home. It's very hard for them to leave. Everything is so familiar.
Right.
So I really think it's just like an echo.
So, have you always believed in the paranormal, or did working here kind of get you into the paranormal?
I think living in Savannah, I grew up with it.
Fair enough.
Okay.
So I've never had a don't believe. I just thought that was it. That was the stories they told me.
Yeah.
I've always heard the stories, so I didn't know I actually had a choice to believe or not believe. It was just like, this is it. The adults and, they told the stories and you believe them. But growing up in Savannah, born and raised, you grew up with this.
Right.
And you're kind of used to it, yeah.
Right. So aside from here, do you have any other experiences with the paranormal, or is it mainly just here?
Here, I would think you just get eerie feelings in Bonaventure sometimes.
Yep, you sure do.
Yes, the chills. Also, Colonial Park Cemetery.
Yeah,
definitely. And I've seen a lot of orbs. I've seen people pick up orbs. I've seen some very unusual. And people will send us photos. Quite a, I might get them once a month of something they took in the house. It was a little unusual.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I went to Bonaventure when I was here last. We're going after this actually, and when we were there, I mean, even midday, it's very ominous. It's very eerie midday, which is almost weird because I think, especially people growing up in a place like Savannah where it's consistently haunted, a lot of people think that it's only it's a nighttime thing. No, it's an everyday nonstop event, and I love that you're able to even say because I know Bonaventure closes at night. You've been there during the day and felt that kind of same thing.
Yes, and Colonial Park Cemetery does close at night, but I've been in there before they closed.
Yeah.
Like a long time ago, we used to play in there. Like growing up downtown, it was like playground. It was definitely a shortcut to the neighborhood behind.
Right.
Bonaventure is almost to me like it's like enchanted or magical.
Yeah.
And you do, especially today with the fall weather, that should be beautiful.
Do you think there's a reason that they close it at night then, or do you think it's just strictly
Bonaventure?
Yeah.
I think they did not start closing it at night until Garden of Good and Evil. Garden of Good and Evil, people were going through there and they kind of had to start closing at night.
Okay.
Because of just preservation.
Yeah.
And then also, I definitely know Colonial Park Cemetery, they did preserve that cemetery and they did some restoration on it. Or they are preserving, they're trying their best to preserve it, and they did some restoration, so that's why they close it. 8 to 8.
Yeah. Okay.
That's fairly new in the last 10 years.
Yeah, okay.
Before it was wide open.
Oh, that'd be really cool if it was so wide open.
I didn't know if it was because it would be like haunted or something.
Yeah.
No.
They wouldn't want you to
Other reasons.
Yeah.
No.
They're not
logical reasons.
Yeah. Adult reasons, Nick.
That's fair.
Don't let this fool you. We're not a professional podcast. Well, thank you so much for taking the time.
Thank you so much.
We really appreciate it.
My name is Graham, and I work at the SORREL Weed House, and I've been here for a little over 2 years.
Okay, so what's your main job here at the SORREL Weed House?
I give ghost tours.
Yeah. The man we need to speak to, clearly.
So the house itself, it has been around since 1836, and it was built as a wedding gift for a guy's wife.
Okay. So have you always believed in the paranormal, or was it kind of like a thing when you started working here or moved to Savannah, or what kind of got you into the paranormal stuff?
What got me into it, was the first time I saw a ghost.
Wow.
I was like 8.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So that's what got me into it.
So you've been a believer for a while.
Yeah.
This wasn't like a new thing that popped up when you are in Savannah or however long you've been here.
No, not really. And that was the one of the reasons that I got attracted to moving in Savannah. My friend, he lived here already, and then he was like, "This is listed as one of the most haunted cities in the country," and I was like, "Well, let's live there."
Yeah.
So how long have you been in Savannah then?
Almost 3 years.
Have you ever had other experiences in Savannah?
Yes. Yeah, I have. I haven't really been to investigate a bunch of places, but my friend, his mom owns a shop that's downtown, and I've investigated there before. And we had some experiences while we were doing that.
Okay.
Also the house I live in, I've had experiences.
Really?
Yeah.
So what do you think with this place? What do you think has been your most insane or biggest experience here?
My biggest one, there's a few, I guess. The one that I always tell everybody. So there's a certain area down in the basement of the house, and there's a spirit down there that we just call Shadow Man, because that's the only name we have for him. We don't know who it is. He's just a really tall shadow
Just
person.
a guy.
Yeah. And then we have a chair that's over in that little hallway that he's usually in.
Yeah.
And if you investigate here, you can't not sit in the chair. You have to do it.
I mean, we're planning on doing that
Yeah.
tonight now.
Yeah.
Now that we know, we're going to
Yeah,
do
we
it.
have
yeah,
to do it now.
I already got my tickets reserved.
Yeah, once you see it, you're I can't not sit in that chair. It just looks terrifying.
That sounds like something we would do.
I was sitting there for a little bit, and I've never had a good feeling whenever I sit there. It just hasn't happened. I always get super anxious, and my heart starts racing, and I just start freaking out in my head. So I was investigating here one night, and I already knew that was going to happen. So I was like, all right, let's just do it. Let's get it over with.
Get it out. Yeah.
So I was sitting in the chair, and it started to happen, and I was like, oh, I knew that was coming. So I just sat there for a little bit longer, and it got worse.
Oh.
And I didn't know that was gonna happen. So I went to get up out of the chair because it was like I don't want to sit here anymore. This is too much, and I felt like I was just stuck in the chair and I couldn't move.
Is this area that we're in right now, is this haunted, or is there activity in this area that we're in now, or is it mostly in the other building?
For this building, it's mostly upstairs. Like the top floor has some pretty good stuff.
Okay.
Down here, not too much, because like this room was actually like basically a garage for carriages.
Is there any is the spirits, is it like a hostel, or is it just like a resident kind of thing? Or residual, sorry.
There's a lot of residual stuff. There is we do have intelligent spirits, but they're not like bad, I guess, or like malevolent. Okay. We try to keep it like that too.
Fair.
Which is, that definitely is safe for everybody to give on tours, and also I have to be here almost every day, so I definitely don't want anything like that here.
Yeah,
that's fair. You don't want to make bad juju going on with the place you work at.
Yeah.
So, do you think working here? I guess I'm trying to think how to word this properly. When it comes to working here, is there a moment where you wake up one morning and you're like, I don't want to do that tonight? Is there ever a moment like that for you, or is this just guns blazing, balls to the wall every night of I'm stoked about it?
There are definitely times when I'll wake up and just not feel like doing anything that day.
Yeah.
Usually I'll get here and if sometimes I'm still feeling man, this tour is gonna suck. I can feel it. And then once it gets into it, I'm like, all right, this isn't bad.
Yeah. So you guys do tours pretty regularly. Have people ever had any negative experiences on the tours, or is it normally just I heard something?
It's pretty much like that. There are there's weird, it sounds kind of negative, when you say it, but it is just there's just residual energies of because back in the day, they would have had enslaved people here.
Yeah.
And especially where they lived, people tend to feel really dizzy or lightheaded, or they feel like they're going to get sick and things like that. So that it sounds pretty bad, but
it's
it's alright. I feel like it's just the residual of how they would have felt, because they're just in the heat constantly all day doing work, and they probably didn't feel too good after doing that.
Yeah, probably not.
Yeah.
No.
Do you have any more questions, man, or?
I don't. Probably stuff I'll ask off camera.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure we'll ask stuff off camera.
Yeah.
Which don't worry, that'll be edited out.
Yeah.
Well, we appreciate it, man. Thank you. Seriously.
Yeah.
Hey guys, it is us. We are about to be going into the SORREL Weed House for our investigation. What's my mask doing? So, we just wanted to say, here we go, and hopefully we get some good stuff for you guys.
Yes, sir.
We'll see you very soon.
Did you move the curtain? It was funny.
It sounded like a ha ha ha. Yeah.
Okay, we thought that was funny too.
It was funny.
Did you move the curtain? It was funny.
It sounded like a ha ha ha. Yeah.
Okay, we thought that was funny too.
It was funny. It sounded like a ha ha ha. Yeah.
Okay, we thought that was funny too.
It was funny.
We're your friends.
Is that okay? Is that okay? We're your friends. Is that okay? Is that okay?
Hey guys, this part of the video is silent for a second, and we're going to explain to you exactly what happened.
So what you're about to hear in this video is you're going to hear a wood actually like kind of squeak. We even labeled it for you. What that actually is there's this place is very old. I'm sure we've prefaced that enough, but we can't preface it enough. This place is really, really old. So while we're walking through this place, we thought we heard a piece of wood kind of squeak, and you will hear it. What we learned later on after going through all of this and kind of starting to debunk and trying to make sure this was more realistic for you guys, we were all, there's 4 of us in this video, we're all standing on a really old floorboard, like a really old floorboard, and every time we stood on it, we actually would make it pop up just a little bit, and what it was doing was pushing itself against the table that it's on top, or it's underneath, and that's causing that whole table to actually squeak. So after viewing this video a few times, we were able to debunk it, and luckily this group that we were with was awesome, and we kind of explained this to them afterwards because we kind of were listening to everything. We kind of get the idea of that's probably what it was while we were even recording this. But luckily, after me and Nick sat down and really started viewing it, it's exactly what it is. So yeah, enjoy the rest of this short little video.
Stairs too.
I heard a creak, but
Yeah, that sound just came from this room.
so this is
Yeah. Yeah, he said sometimes though you get.
I don't know if that was away or okay. I don't know if that was away or okay. I don't know if that was away or okay. I don't know if that was away or okay.
Are you trapped in your house? Are you trapped in your house? Are you trapped in your house?
And then go try to find him. Alright. Count to 10 and then go try to find him. Alright. Count to 10 and then go try to find him. I don't have an explanation for that.
What did you see?
I'm not kidding you. I looked over and like his description of it. Okay, so put your flashlight down. You guys see where the red is?
Yeah.
I literally watched something crawl off of that.
What the? Oh no, that definitely is not what I saw.
Well, look, our shadows don't make it.
Yeah, our shadows don't reach that.
So this is me rounding a corner in this basement. I'm about to come across something really weird.
So Zach, what was that?
Nightmare fuel. And I know in the video you guys are probably watching this like, yeah, that door's scary. So you're gonna get a picture momentarily where we actually took it, screenshotted it, zoomed in on it, and cleaned it up to make it look better and circled everything for you. That's Shadow Man. He lives in the basement there. No big deal. Normal guy.
Normal guy. Cool guy.
Yes, cool dude. It's not like I'm a malevolent spirit or anything, but he has a chair down there, and I may or may not have sat in that chair for a solid 5 minutes before this happened. I may or may not have sat in this chair for a minute. And one thing we really need to note in the video there, you see like a wall. That is a pillar.
Yeah.
And that pillar, when we all walked through it, and our whole group, I walked through that, and I mean, it felt like someone punched me in the chest. And then I was like, y'all should come look at this. How does that make you? And everyone was like, whoa, yeah, that's a strong hit.
Yeah, for me, it was like walking through, like, that resistance of, like, walking through, like, waves.
Yeah,
Almost.
that's a, wow, you know, nail on the head. Look at you go.
Hey, I tried.
Yeah, sometimes it'd be like that. But yeah, I mean, this was a weird moment for me. Because I had seen it earlier. You've heard the EVP of me literally freaking out the first time I see it, and I'm the only one that saw it. I'm only the only one that saw it both times, unfortunately, until this fucking photo. And there it is.
That's what it is.
That is what I had the unfortunate pleasure of seeing around a corner. And I know this is kind of hard to make out, guys, but you can, if you look closely at the top, you see a head, you can see a good outline of an arm as well. And then this, I took this like immediately after that. Nick came, saw that through my thing. We stopped recording. I jumped that hallway and screenshot. I've never taken a picture faster in my life.
Yeah.
Nothing there. Same light I'm using and everything. Just nothing there, bro. Yeah, I mean, this was a good one. You know, when we first saw this photo and we first saw the video after, like, everything, like, because I saw it and I called you over while actually doing it, and I was like, you know, that's spooky, but are my eyes playing tricks on me? Is the camera playing tricks on me? Like we expect, we try to debunk everything.
Yeah.
I tried, and it just didn't happen, man.
Yeah, you know, I thought it could have been a shadow, but then when we were watching the video back, like, the first thing I did was, like, I just took a screenshot. I was like, yeah, we gotta see what this is.
Yeah, I mean, this is,
And the results may startle you.
Yeah. I feel like this is, this is probably one of my favorite pieces of evidence we have.
Yeah.
Because another thing that we don't really get a chance to mention in the recording we have of me freaking out over seeing him for the first time is someone else saw him when they were in the basement, very close to where I saw him for the first time. And I thought that was really interesting because I told them where I saw him. They're like, yeah, I saw him like directly behind that. I thought that was really interesting that I wasn't the only person, so I didn't feel like a lunatic, which is nice. But yeah, it was a weird moment.
Yeah.
It was a fun moment, but it was a very weird moment. You have anything else to add about that, or?
No, just
nightmare.
Nightmare.
Thank God I'm drinking coffee right now because we have to edit this, but sleep's probably not happening. So this clip is a lot of weird noises that we were kind of hearing through the night in the background, and this prolonged for a while. You're going to hear us stop a few times in this and actually talk about it. We have it marked as well to show you where you're going to hear these weird noises and wood creaking and a lot of banging noises. At a point, one of our people even says, it sounds like someone just threw a book. That noise.
You guys think it's coming from that room?
Here's the thing. It's coming. It sounds like it's either coming from down here or it's coming from like above us here. Not that's
here that nobody can be in.
exactly.
And that just, did you hear the creak?
Yeah.
I sure did.
A book just fell.
I sure did hear that creak. Let's try to get some flash photography. Nyak.
Is there somebody upstairs?
That's all them upstairs.
I hope so. This corner fascinates me for some reason.
Can you make that box go off over here? This is our last part of the evening.
Hey. At this point, we ran to the stairs because we legitimately thought someone from the other group was actually trying to just come down the steps. We really don't know what that noise was. Hey, come here. That's right here. But they're over there. You can hear them talking that way. So we have it on our other recording. It just doesn't have an EVP, so we didn't post it. You can hear these people very well through the whole house, and they are definitely on the other side. At this point, we really don't have an explanation.
They could have split.
Yeah, they could have, but that was weird.
At this point in time, we had no idea what was going on. We tried to debunk it, thinking that, there's people above us, so maybe, but the likelihood of it was not possible because they were on the opposite end.
So through the night, we have a lot of recordings when we're in the basement where we can hear the other group very well. And we literally, when we were even going through EVPs and all that for you guys, we really had to chop up a lot so you couldn't hear other people, so it didn't interfere. I mean, it's very distinct what other people stepping around sounded like through our recordings, and this just wasn't it.
Yeah.
And this was like I have written in here. This is in a room that's abandoned and literally roped off. You can't go in it. You can see into it from the bottom of the steps, and we all sat there and shined lights into it from the bottom steps. There's no one in there.
Yeah.
It was very weird. I don't know what to chalk this one up to. I just don't.
Yeah.
This one we're kind of leave to mystery, I think. And we did really try hard to debunk this.
Yeah.
I mean, me, you, and our little group, we sat there at the bottom of the steps for a good 5 minutes, and this didn't just end. This continued. This continued the rest of the night, and then when we ended up, we were on roundup. I mean, as we were walking out, we could hear the other group coming down the steps, and you could still fucking hear it. What are you?
Tell me your secrets.
Tell me your secrets. But yeah, we wanted to leave you guys with this clip for sure. I think this is a good little mystery clip to kind of make you think it over.
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah. And that's it.
That's it.
What a weekend, man.
What a weekend, man.
We're tired.
Yeah.
We're not hungry, luckily.
Luckily, yeah.
But yeah, we're tired, man. We were up very late last night. So we're going to give you guys kind of a rundown of everything that you just saw. And before we do any of that, a huge, huge shout out and a huge thank you to the Andrew Lowe house. Chris was fantastic. She gave us an awesome tour that not everyone gets. We got to see a lot of backstage stuff. We got to learn a lot. A lot of really cool, rich history there, guys. And then obviously a huge shout out to the Sorrel Weed House. I mean, good God.
That was crazy. That was awesome.
What a cool thing to experience. What a cool thing to let people come do, as well as a huge shout out to Graham for letting us interview him and give us the time to do it, as well as his manager, Annie, who worked effortlessly to line up an interview and keep in contact with me and consistently talk to me. I mean, above and beyond from the Andrew Lowe House and the Sorrel Weed House. Again, huge thank you.
Thank you
to both of those. So let's kind of start breaking a lot of this down.
Let's do it.
It was a lot.
Yeah.
And we know that.
We know.
And it's okay.
It's okay.
We're here to help you. Here to give you little bite-sized digestible things to explain to your friends. So, first things first, I want to ask, what was your favorite evidence, do you think?
My favorite evidence was some EVPs. I call it piano room just as a grouping, pretty much. It's the room with the big piano. When we were doing it, it was actually it was kind of boring because we didn't really get that much activity. I didn't feel like.
Yeah.
However, on our way home, we were going through EVPs, and that session with the spirit box was like the coolest stuff that we got, and we didn't hear it while we were in the room.
Yeah, we didn't hear any of it.
Yeah, but when we were blasting it on the way home, like we were picking up on this stuff, and then when I was cleaning it up a little bit more, there's even more stuff, and it was just like a present and a present and a present. So I underestimated the thing I love the most about the whole thing.
That's where the EVP you heard that said, "Be gone. There are people.
Go away.
Go away." That's that. All three of those are from that area. What that area is, that's the second level of the Sorrel Weed House. So it goes the basement, that, and then the second floor, and I believe an attic. And yeah, I mean, we got a lot of cool stuff on that floor that we didn't know we had. I mean, we have a debunking video that took place on that floor as well, actually.
Yeah.
It is a cool piece of evidence.
Cool piece. What was your favorite part?
You know, I as much as I want to say the ha, because we will talk about that momentarily. Dude, 100% Shadow Man.
Shadow Man.
That's so cool. And terrifying at the same damn time. I feel like that's a really good piece of evidence for a lot of reasons, but I think that before I even dive into why I think it's a good piece of evidence, I have to preface, I understand that there's a lot of people who watch these kind of things just out of curiosity, I guess, and don't really know what it's like, and people who might not believe in this kind of stuff. Honestly, and I know that picture is not the most amazing picture, because what picture of a ghost is a good picture? Let's be real
honest here.
Let's be real here.
Yeah.
I think it's a good piece of evidence though, because that recording of me genuinely losing it for a second, I mean, it was very real.
Yeah.
You've been on a lot of these with me. We've done a lot of investigating places. I don't normally lose my mind or let alone cuss like that in front of strangers.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, it was very weird for me to turn and just see that. I mean, and like I said in the EVP, the best way I can explain it is there's two pillars like this. There's a red light coming off of them like this. This one was higher. I watched it and I looked at it, and then suddenly I saw what looked like an arm just come down the side of it. It dropped to scale, and then something shoved itself off of it. It was a whole moment of what did I just witness? And what was so great about it too is, at the end of the night, we got to do a wrap up and talk about everything. And what was so cool about that is we were talking about that, and there was a guy who was doing the investigations as well, and he said that he saw something almost identical in the same area I did, except instead of it being on the pillar, it was behind the pillar.
Yeah.
That was that he said that, and I was like, oh, okay, so I'm not an idiot.
Yeah.
I'm not crazy. So yeah, 100%. I think the Shadow Man was my favorite thing that happened.
Your reaction to that was one of my favorite parts of the night. Just in all of a sudden, you're just normally talking, then you just start flipping out.
Yeah,
it was
the
awesome.
normal conversation. We have to talk about the ha ha ha. I mean,
Yeah,
that was so cool.
that was so cool.
That wasn't the first part that we investigated at.
Mhm.
And we weren't very prepared for for things to happen that quickly. We're used to waiting around for 2-3 hours before something happens.
Yeah,
We're persistent. And I mean that place with that ha 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 happening in the first 20 minutes of us being there. That's a great staple to say like this is on the top 10 most haunted places in America.
Yeah.
Not Savannah. This building, and that right there was the solidify of like that makes sense as to why.
yep,
I get it.
I get it.
And there's a lot of stuff we didn't show you guys because we aren't sure about it.
Yeah,
We're probably going to send some of it to Sorrel Weed House, actually, because they review things. So if we do and we get anything really cool, we'll probably make like a short video about it. And then I think from that, the giggle that we have
oh, the giggle, yeah.
during the little like hide and seek thing, that was really cool.
That was really cool. That was something that when it was happening, we didn't hear it, but when we were cleaning up audio, it was like, what?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I loved all the banging noises.
Yeah.
And I think the reason I like that so much, like I said, we did this with groups of people. Our group was awesome, by the way.
Yeah.
Which we're going to talk about them next. So there was a group above us. We're here, and then there's a group in the other house, and you can hear them pretty prevalently when you're in this place. I mean, these walls are old and thin.
Yeah.
And we are, so like if these are the stairs this way, there's nothing above you except a room you're not allowed in. This way, we could distinctly hear them on the far corner in another room very faintly. So when we started hearing that, I mean, we were very, it was alarming.
Yeah.
And I mean, like we said in the video with it didn't stop after that. It continued.
It got worse.
It got louder, and I just made the dumb mistake of not recording because I wanted to sit on the couch. I was like, there's a couch in here that's old and I'm allowed to sit on it. Run it. I'll sit on that couch.
Word.
Yeah, and like I said, if you've never done one of these things and you don't believe or anything, do it. See how you feel about it after you go on one of these. And I would highly recommend Sorrel Weed House. Drive to Savannah, Georgia, and just do it. It's worth your time.
Absolutely.
And then, again, a huge shout out, again, Sorrel Weed House, Angelo House, Chris, Graham, Annie. You guys were all great. And a huge shout out to our little group. And I'm so sorry I'm bad with names.
Yeah.
If I hadn't been talking to Annie for a while, if I hadn't gotten Chris's name or Graham's name for the interview, I want to know. It's good. I'm not going to lie to you. Or horrible names. But our group was great. It's 2 other people, and they were super into it. They were all about helping us debunk it. Awesome.
They were, like, when we started, I was like, oh, man.
Yeah.
I hope we get them.
Yeah, we were kind of like, they seem chill.
Yeah.
They seem like they're into this. And everyone else was kind of grouping together, like, and they were kind of afraid.
Yeah.
And I was like, we need people who aren't afraid. And these 2 fearless human beings were like, we're down. And I'm like, and that's what I needed to hear. So that's it. That's it for me, at least. Was there anything else that like stuck out to you during this or no?
Honestly, everything stuck out in its own right that I can't really explain it. Like the experience alone was like so cool that like the whole experience just sticks out to me. It's like something I'll never forget.
Yeah, 100%, man. I agree with you. So again, seriously, guys, thank you so much for watching this.
Thank you.
And be sure to check out our video on Friday, because guess what? True Crimes is back, baby. Well, Ed Gein action for you. Ooh. Real creepy. Shouldn't have said that, huh? It's a weird thing to say.
Yeah.
And then next Monday, you get to see our other little road trip that we're going on this weekend. You get to see our Alcatraz East video, which we're very excited about. Trying to score an interview with someone there too, just to kind of learn about it. But that's it. That's the whole thing. And now, is it gonna squeak? It's gonna squeak. Don't you dare leave this channel without liking it,
commenting,
subscribing, sharing,
clicking that bell icon so you get notified when we post a new video,
and following us on the gram and on the old Twitter, which you can do right now. All you have to do is click the thing in our banner or go to our bio and click the link. And you know what else you should do while you're on this video? probably check our description because Sorrel Weed House does live things. They do live ghost hunts. Just an FYI. And they'll be linked in the description below. And so, on that note, we will see you guys next time.